All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to HPT, the YouTube channel that collects reliable data and builds profitable day trading systems based off that data so that you can execute in the market with tons of conviction. And today in this live, I want to do something a little different, but overall, I think it's going to be extremely beneficial. I want to go over the lessons that we've learned from 2025. Okay, I like to do this at the end of every year. It's a really good way. I like to message myself throughout the year, and I take a lot of notes and I do a lot of journaling on, things that I go through. And I do this so that I could learn from them, right? The market, life, all together. You're going to continuously find yourself in all these different scenarios. And it's funny how it works, but until you conquer whatever it is you're going through, you're going to keep bumping into that issue, right? So, like, whether it's trading, right? Say you're struggling with risk management. That used to be something I struggled with like crazy. I hated to lose. And because of that, I struggled with getting out of positions when I was supposed to, etc. So basically, until I figured out, until I lost enough money, I was like, okay, this isn't working. So I finally was able to conquer that risk management, right? And really see the importance of it in it. And that's just an example, right? Like these are lessons are what you have to learn. And until you learn them, you're just going to keep bumping into the same scenario over and over, right? So in this video, I want to start it off just we're going to do some on-demand trading while we do this. I think that's just beneficial, seeing that we're going live tomorrow. So I just want to do some on-demand trading and spot our edge, go through some examples, and then in the meantime, I just kind of want to talk about some of the lessons that I learned from 2025. So a lot of traders ask me about on demand. On demand is one of the most valuable tools, in my opinion, that any trader can use, and it's just replay, right? It's just really replaying price action and getting more familiar with what to expect. So for this video, I'm just going to be trading on demand on Tesla because these current market conditions, it seems like SPY and QQQ, right? NASDAQ, ES, they've just been exceptionally choppy. So for tomorrow's live session, I'm probably going to be just focusing a little bit more on Tesla. And so something I like to do is prepare, right? I made a goal. I set out to make $250,000 in the stock market, right? And for me to do that, one of my actions to get that done was to trade on demand every day for at least an hour to 2 hours a day. So I just kind of want to walk you through the process of how I do that. So you'll see here on Thinkorswim, you can go up and you can click this button right here up in the corner. And this right here is on demand. So once you click this, it's going to bring you to live replay. And then you could literally pick any day you want, put your ticker in. You can see here, I got Tesla. I got my pit numbers up. So I have everything I need. I don't have to chart a lot. It's very easy. And then over here, we pick our option contracts, right? So over here, I'll type in Tesla. And then I'll be like, okay, I think buyers are showing some strength. So I'm going to pick the 310 calls. And now we're going to wait for our opportunity, right? So when I look at this chart, what do I see? Well, number one, first thing I notice is the previous day high, okay? That's a key level, right? This is the highest price from the previous day. So I want to see who can control this right here, right? If buyers could show strength right here, I'm interested in long plays, and looks like we got some high potential upside targets, right? So we could see a move all the way up here. And this is my system, right? It's not, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it's a very simple way to identify opportunity in the market. So I'm watching for longs here on Tesla. Let's see if we can get an opportunity. And while we're waiting for that, we're going to go over the first lesson that I wrote down, right? So lesson from 2025, the definition of learning, right? This was actually a key lesson that I learned this year. And the real definition of learning, and I stole this from Alex Hormozi. Alex Hormozi is an absolute genius. And I love Alex because Alex is, he keeps it real, but he'll be the first to tell you you're not where you want to be simply because you just haven't put in enough work, right? And one of the things that he taught me was that the definition of learning is doing something different when you are in the same scenario. So let's bring it back to that risk management I was just talking about earlier, right? So when I was young lad, probably like 3 or 4 years ago, and I was struggling really bad with risk management. Now, and I see this happen a lot with traders. Traders will never learn. And to really understand that statement, we got to understand the definition of learning, right? And the definition of learning, once again, is doing something different when presented with the same scenario. So if I'm talking about risk management, the way that would look is I would hop into a trade and then the trade would go against me. Now, in that moment, I would value not losing money more than stopping out, right? I would really want the win. I was trying to grow a small account for a long time. And what would happen is I would only be able to take maybe 2 or 3 trades a day. So I would get really emotionally attached to the trade that I was taking. So bring it back to the lesson. The lesson is to learn, and to actually learn means to do something different. So traders will be in this pattern, right? They will repeat the same mistake over and over and over. And I would argue that means they never actually learn. For us to learn, we actually need to do something different. Okay. If you are showing up to the market every single day and you really want to master your risk management and you want to take your trading to the next level, it's important, but you still in the moment don't stop out of trades when you're supposed to, or maybe you over leverage. Okay, that is just showing me, and I'm just going to replay this while we wait here so that we're not just waiting on moves all day, that you're not learning. So one of the key lessons that I learned this year was to actually learn, and it really applied to trading, but more importantly, my business, right? My social media, my YouTube, my HPT, the Discord, right? Like really learning to help other traders and actually market to them correctly and stuff like that. And these are journeys that we're still learning, but to learn actually means to do something different. Right? So if like your way to get into a trade isn't working, how are you going to change that? What are you going to actually do differently? Are you willing to try new things? Are you going to hold your trades longer, right? Like what actionable steps can we use to do those sort of things, right? And that's why I teach the moving averages. And, I like, what we got in front of us. I'll use the moving average to really understand what the market's telling me and if I should stay in the trade, if I should get into the trade. Is it extended? If it's extended, what's that actually mean, right? Maybe I'll wait for a pullback. It's how I use the tools to identify the opportunity. But to learn is to actually do something different. So that was lesson number 1. Lesson number 2, the road to success is narrow. That is heavy. The road to success is narrow. What does that mean? We all heard it before, but I never really understood it until this year. I once heard an amazing statement, and it was, don't be like the 90%, right? The 90% of individuals, they get the average life. They live the average life. They get the average result, right? They wake up every day. They, complain about the weather. They're the 90%, right? They don't believe they can get it done. They just show up, but they don't put their all into it. When they trade, they just expect that price is going to give them perfect opportunities every single day, and they don't really put in any work. That's the key thing, right? So another thing about this is like, if you, and this applies constantly, but if you want to become a winner, right? You want to get good at trading. You want to take your life and your trading to the next level, or whatever it is. It really applies to everything. You have to realize that you have to be different. right? Like, and sometimes that means not knowing at all what to do. It just means knowing what not to do, right? Like, for instance, I'm looking at this Tesla trade. Price is moving up, right? But there's no opportunity. Now, the 90% of individuals, they might just hop in, right? Why? Due to FOMO, right? They'll be like, oh my God, I don't want to miss it, right? What if I miss it? What if it gets away from me, right? And I'll just hop in. That's an emotional decision. Now, if I want to be different, I have to behave differently. So maybe in this scenario, I'm just going to wait for my strategy, right? Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. But what I know is what the 90% can't do, right? Or let's talk about holding trades. A lot of traders struggle with holding positions. Now, once again, that would be a characteristic trait of the 10%, right? If 90% of traders can't hold their positions because they're afraid that they're going to lose, or, they just want to scalp, or, whatever it is they tell themselves, but in reality, they're not holding their positions. And that's what the 90% of traders do. So once again, the road to success is narrow, meaning for me to be different, I have to behave differently. Why is this taking so long? Let me try something here real quick. We're going to pick a different day. Sometimes on demand can be a little difficult to use. Let's try a new day here. Okay, here we go. Here we go. What do we got here? I like this. So first thing I'm seeing right here is we got a green bar ignored. All right, we got a pretty healthy 1 hour trend. So I'm definitely interested in a short play here. Definitely. Most definitely. We're rejecting end of day. We're rejecting previous day low. This is very bearish. Very bearish. So now I want to see what price looks like if it can come back up to this level. And it may not. Right? It really may not. So let's see here. See if we can get some option contracts pulled up. Let's see if we can whip out the 2 minute. Let's see what we get right here. Our GBI was way up here, up top, so we might not even get an opportunity here. We may have missed it. And that's all right. Because once again, sometimes you're going to miss your setup. It is what it is. But what I won't do is just pile right in. So I'm looking for a retest up in this zone. And just to be clear, this is how we identify the zone. Right? The zone, the area of value, it's very simple to see. All you got to do is identify the green bar that's ignored. Okay? And this is on the 5 minute time frame. Look at this trend here. Look at this 5 minute trend. All right, that's pretty healthy. Nice downside movement, strong selling pressure right here. Pretty solid 5 minute trend, break off previous day low. This is tough because I want to retest up here to actually enter. But the 1 hour trend is pretty valid right there. There really is nothing wrong with entering in. If let's just try it. Let's see what we get. We're going to enter in short here. And we're going to play this downside trend with the healthy 5 minute. Okay, it's a healthy 5 minute trend. Usually, I would wait for a retest out of this area of value. But I just want to see here what it would be like to trade this healthy trend to the downside without the retest. All right, I want to see what the follow through looks like right here. Maybe we'll even get another GBI, and it looks like we did. Okay, so you guys see that? So usually I'm waiting for an area value retest, but in this scenario, I didn't think we were going to get it because the moving averages. You see how I use the moving average to determine how strong the sellers actually are, right? I'm not just using the moving average to be like, okay, it's moving downward, right? That is one way that we use them. But another way is I can actually use the moving average to determine how strong the selling pressure is, right? And look, we absolutely nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. I think this is a pretty large trade. I think I bought a 10 pack. So you can see here. Okay, now check this out. So now we got a green bar that was ignored. So now look how price comes into the area of value, respects it, respects the moving average, and starts to push down further. This is how we use moving averages. Okay? There's a really good execution right there on Tesla. We got in right up here. Right up here around 302.88. About a $2 move so far in less than 10 minutes. Let's see if it can continue. I think it can because the 1 hour trend, right? The 1 hour trend is pretty close. We rejected previous day low. Let's see what the 1 hour is telling me. Very bearish, right? This would be the sweet spot right here. Sweet spot. Why is this a sweet spot? Because we got two critical levels. This is break, support, turn resistance. Okay. Clean market structure. Look at that. Look at this trade. Look at that short play. Beautiful. Beautiful. Just to be clear, let's do a quick recap right here because this is a simple, $1,000 trade right here. And it really did not take a lot, right? All we did was identify weak buying, strong selling off the open. How do we do that? Using our RBI, GBI, right? 5-minute candle, disrespected. And then we entered in short once we came up to the moving average here and price respected. You'd see, now look where that 1 hour trend, right? So for anybody that doesn't know or isn't a part of my team, this stair step indicator I have right here, this is the 1 hour trend, right? The 1 hour 9 located on the 5-minute time frame. And once again, that's just another tool I use to identify the strength of the selling pressure. So that's another lesson that I learned in 2025, right? Is how to really understand what the moving averages are telling you, right? Not just from a, I don't know, black and white binary level of, oh, it's going down or up, right? Like, no, we're actually using moving averages to determine how strong a trend is. And I tell you what, it's like those tools right there is what is the application I always needed to like actually pull the damn trigger, right? I'm sure a lot of traders can realize or relate here, but sometimes we overthink things. Sometimes we really overthink the process, and because of that, we miss out on a lot of good trades, and then we get frustrated, and then we end up getting in some garbage trade later in the day. So for me, I just needed like clear, simple tools I could use to actually get in. Like regardless how I felt, I was like, you know what? We got that green bar right up here. Look at this. Let's just spell it out here. Oh, hold on. That's too big. Green bar ignored, right? So what's that tell us? What does this tell us? This tells us that there are trapped buyers, okay? Trapped buyers. So the story when I see this is what? Sellers got the ball, okay? Now I understand the story right off the rip, but I still need a way to actually get in, right? So how did I do it? I used the solid 5-minute trend here to enter into a position on a pullback, right? So when price came into the moving average, we entered short right around here because we came into the moving average, which was healthy. So all in all, once again, these are just the simple tools I use to like really, that help me pull the trigger in the moment without overthinking the process. That's another thing I learned in 2025 is like develop clear criteria. I actually learned this in 2023 when I started out on the HPT crossover strategy, right? Like when I started collecting the data. All right, so now this is ready. Let's do it. Let's watch this. So now we're coming into the area of value. This is key. Where's my 2 minute? The 2 minute is what you're going to want to use when you're coming into an AOV. When price comes into an area of value, usually you want to identify the dominant side of the market, which would be sellers right here, controlling the moving average. More or less the 20. It doesn't need to be the 20 EMA on the 2, but, it does help. But all in all, we want to see sellers really controlling this zone, okay? That's going to confirm that they still got the ball. Now, I haven't really had time to chart this, and we just took a scalp here. We just shorted this. We're out of the position. Now we're looking at this like, okay, do I want to get back in? Now, what do I need to see? I want to see us close below the area of value. If we can close below that box, we'll hop back into short. And we actually did not. We did not close outside that box. It still could be very bearish. And what are we seeing right here, right? Green bar ignored. This becomes the area of value. And right here, we are looking for buyers to stomp out. We're looking for buyers to stomp out of this trend, right? Because this green candle tells us what? Buyers actually tried. We know this because it's green, right? Like green candle means buyers. So it looks like buyers are showing some strength right here, but it's really all depends on what happens up here at the 20. So you see how we use those moving averages to really just understand the story. And it's just a very simple tool that helps me not go fully retarded and start making things up, right? Like if you're a trader, chances are you've conjured up some stories in your mind that have caused you to make some bad decisions in the market. I have. Every trader does. We've all gone full tilt. We've all blown an account. Okay. It's inevitable. So I used to make a lot of bad mistakes, a lot of bad decisions, and I really couldn't get my hands around it. But I'm thankful for all those times because it was God pushing me to figure out very clear tools and criteria to keep me from making those bad decisions. So now, oh, look at that. Look at that reject. Look at that retest and rejection off the 20. But it does look like buyers are showing some strength here. So let's see what we get. Next thing I want to do is go to that 1 hour and get more of a better idea of what the overall market context is. It looks like, oh yeah. Okay. So you see this? This is what we call a key level, very critical level right here. Very critical. And once again, it's just a previous pit number, right? Like this level right here is a low from a very far day ago, right? So it's a pit number, right? So if you guys don't know what pit numbers are, go on my channel. Search pit numbers. Is the previous day high, low, open and close, and they have a lot of volume. So you can see here, price comes into that pit number all the way back from 724. It looks like we're getting some buying, but look, I'm still bearish because look at that 1 hour trend, right? It's moving downward. Buyers can show up, but the moving averages are telling me what? She's bearish. She's looking bearish. We're coming up to the 5 right here on the cloud. This is pretty much patient mode. This is when we got to get more story. We need more context. Let's see what happens as we come up into this 20. Hurst, Happy New Year, man. Seng Hong, Happy New Year. Thank you. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you guys. I'm very excited about 2026. It's going to be a really good year. And, just some more things that I learned from 2025. This one, so the first two we've gone over is the definition of learning, which is doing something different when presented with the same scenario, right? Like that's heavy, very heavy. Actually making different decisions It can be hard because ego, right? We don't like being wrong. We don't like looking at things differently. We're very stubborn creatures, which is why it's hard for humans to be good traders. Number two, the road to success is narrow, right? Don't be like the 90%, be different. Even if you don't know what to do, just do the opposite of what the majority is doing. Number three, God won't fix your problem, but he will give you an idea to solve it. This is this is heavy. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm the most religious person in the world, but I do believe there's a creator and something much bigger than us, much more intelligent and much more purposeful. And I do believe that we all have a purpose, and I don't believe it's supposed to be easy. I think things are definitely supposed to be challenging, because when things are challenging, what do? We think, and we come up with better systems and strategies, and we get more deeper, and we really figure out, why it is things want to change, right? Like we dive deeper. Trading's a perfect example, right? Like, I remember when I was crafting this strategy, right? Like this strategy is a representation of all of my winning trades combined into one, right? So basically what I did was I went through my journal. I had a really bad month in particular. 18 red days in 1 month. So there's 21 trading days in a month. So 18, almost 93% of that month was red. And I was like, all right, I'm not doing well. Like, I'm not trading good. I was told we're supposed to make money, not lose it, right? So I'm like, wow, this is really bad. So I went through my journal being the key word, right? Went through my journal and was like, okay, what do all these losing trades have in common? And I was like, okay, yeah, they're all reversals. I was trying to capture reversals all the time. I was always trying to predict what was going to happen, guess the low, buy the, sell the high, whatever, right? Typical beginner rookie mistakes. This is key, guys. Watch this. This is very important right here, by the way. We're coming back into the area of value right here. And if buyers show strength here, you can see we got the cross. Now we're going to start looking for RBIs to trade long. And remember, this level is previous day low. Okay. So if buyers can show strength here, I'm going to anticipate a move to the upside right up here. So let's see what happens. But back to what I was saying. I literally had 18 red days. I was like, okay, I'm trading a lot of reversals. So I was like, all right, what do all my winning trades have in common? And I was like, oh, well, they're all typically off a critical level. They all typically have a healthy moving average relationship, right? Whether that's a cross or a healthy 1 hour trend. And I was like, they all have RBIs and GBIs, right? Once again, this right here, this candle is a GBI. This candle is a GBI, right? So that was like my entry. So I was like, okay, I took the 3 common denominators from all my winning trades and I sandwiched them. And I was like, all right, this is going to be my criteria. This is what worked for me. So let's not complicate it. Let's just stick to what's working. Right? So then the rest was history. I've been trading this strategy ever since. And a lot of people are like, dude, how did you think of this? Like, how did you really come up with this strategy? It's so simple, but it works so well. And I was like, it's really like, it was an idea, right? Like God didn't just make price work for me. He helped me figure out how to navigate it better. And it took a horrible month. I literally had to have 15 or 18 red days in 1 month watching this right here. I literally had that many bad days to get familiar, for the awareness to come and be like, oh my God, okay, this isn't working. Let's change, right? Like they call it rock bottom, right? Like if you're an addiction, if you're an alcoholic, you need to hit rock bottom. As a trader, you need to hit rock bottom, and you need to be like, okay, like this isn't working. The behavior needs to change. I need to learn, right, from my mistakes. Okay, how do I do that? Hurst, bro, it's like having some defined criteria. Yeah, it's like, Hurst says being ambiguous in trading can be a vicious cycle of boom and bust. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you're right. And that's why I started HPT, right? Like HPT, because you're 100% right. It's very easy to define a strategy and look at charts, like, oh my God, look, it works. But then come Monday, when the emotions are running wild and you have all these different variables, right? Maybe you're still working full time. You got to go to work. You got to do this. You got to do that, right? Like, and now you have all these external variables around you. And then what do? You break character, right? And you go, oh my God, I did it again. That's why I was like, okay, you know what, guys? We are going to, I'm interested here. We have a high at, hold on, 305.97. So we're looking for an RBI right here for a long. Now it's a little sketchy because it's going into previous day low, and we actually didn't get it. So that wasn't an RBI. Now that doesn't mean that we're completely not going to take the setup, but it's not the criteria, and it's not what I'm looking for. And you can see we're getting a lot of buying pressure here coming into previous day low. Let's see if these buyers can hold it. But going back to what we were talking about, that's why I created High Performance Trader, right? Like it is a community for individuals to hold themselves to a higher standard, right? Like, in my opinion, working with individuals, being a part of something gives you a different respect for yourself, accountability. And that's what HPT is all about, right? Like really learning to implement the system, being okay with, missing the trade, walking away from it, right? Like in knowing your brothers are doing the same thing, right? Like that's what HPT is all about, right? It's something bigger, right? Because I like just like with anything else in life, when you're around the right individuals, you tend to perform and hold yourself to a different standard and do a lot better. Yes, we are going live tomorrow. 100%. We will be live on YouTube. And once again, you guys see this? I just want to point something out here. This is why you got to just trust the system. We got a red candle right here. We were looking for a long, but it wasn't ignored, right? So we didn't take it. And it looks like the follow through might be lacking here. So once again, this is where the system is going to help you. This is why on demand is so important, because you get to repeat the system over and over and over, so that it becomes like, and things like this start to make way more sense to you. What's up, baby? Stella being bad? Okay. Go get it, girl. Right? Like if we could have easily broke character right there and been like, you know what? I'm just going to hop in long. I'm taking that long, right? And then what would have happened? We would have gotten smoked, right? So all in all, the system prevails, right? This is why I always say we don't rise to our goal. We fall on the strength of our system. I'm going to say that one more time. We don't rise to our goals. We fall on the strength of our system. Our system, our process is what gets us there, right? We're not just going to hit our goals. Like that's as naive as saying, oh, if I can go to the gym, I'm just going to get in good shape. It's like, no, you need a good diet. You need a good system. You need a workout. Anybody can go to the gym and just pick up something and throw it around and not get the result, right? Like the result comes from your ability to respect yourself enough to respect the process. The process is key. And sometimes it's no, like there needs to be a lot of faith there. You have to be able to look at price and be like, you know what, it looks good, but my system's not present, so I don't know. I'm just gonna hold off, right? Like instead of going, you know what, I'm just gonna hop in and break some character and see what, like, you know how many times I've done that, and I think that's what Mike was just talking about, right? Like it is easy to talk about, to actually implement. That's a whole nother level. It's a whole nother level. That's why Process and Profits Academy is going to be so awesome, man. Like I just created this 16-week program for people, and we filled it up. I'm pumped, man. We got a great crew, and starts January 3rd. And it's a 16-week program to really help traders work together, learn to see the value in the process. Like when I sit here and go, oh yeah, this 3-step approach, right? It's like, yeah, but there's so much more than just the approach. It's the ability to stick to the approach. It's what the approach is actually telling me. It's like when I am waiting for my strategy, I'm avoiding bad markets, right? Like I don't want to participate in any of this, right? Like I don't want to. Yeah, Sang, we'll be live tomorrow morning. I'm looking forward to having you there, buddy. Let's crush it. We're gonna crush Tesla tomorrow. Spy something. But yeah, like my ability to wait for the system, it's gonna like go back, right? Like there's nothing good here. What are we gonna do? Guess the high? I don't know about you guys, but I'm not here to guess the high. Guessing the high isn't gonna make us rich. I remember thinking, I was like, dude, I want to scale up one day. Am I gonna guess the high when I'm trading 10,000 contracts? Is that how it's gonna work? No, there's no way. You need a system. People just don't get it. People just don't like. I don't think it's people don't get it. I just think they don't think it through, right? They just don't think about it. But you gotta ask yourself, right? Like if we're gonna take it to that next level, what sort of what sort of systems do we have in place? It's just like a business. But I'm not seeing anything here. Let's fast forward a bit. Let me go to the next lesson here. I got one more. So number 4 was, if God's not going to fix your problem, but he will give you the idea to solve it. Number 5, this is a big one. It's not impossible. You're just doing it wrong. Hold on. All right. So real quick here, look at this. I think buyers do got this. Hold on. So we got this battle going on right here. And so we have our green bar ignored AOV. And then we have this level. Price came in here. Buyers are trying to hold it. Okay. We do have an RBI right here. So we are going to take a stab here at longs. Let's see what we get. It's sketchy. But we are going to take a stab. Let's see. Let's go here. Let's take a 10 pack. Now, just to be clear, the reason why I am long is look at that 20. Look at that 20 right there. Buyers are trying, right? So we got a red bar that was ignored right here on the 5-minute time frame. I just want to make sure I'm right here. Let's see. But this is a pretty sketchy play because we're coming right in the previous day low. This thing, honestly, it's not. Let's see. Let's see if this RBI can hold. This is touchy. It's a touchy one. So once again, red bar was ignored ugly. And we're coming in a previous day low. So the selling pressure is probably going to be pretty strong here, but let's see if this RBI can hold. But going back, it's not impossible. You're just doing it wrong. So this was key. This was key for me. It's very important to be able to figure out when it is you're right and when it is you're wrong, right? And really being able to accept when you're wrong is key. in life altogether, and with trading altogether. You got to be good at losing. And not only that, you got to be okay with like we got to learn to look at loss a little differently, right? Like loss isn't necessary. And look at this, guys. This is key. This is actually really important. So this red candle was ignored. So that technically means that the sellers here are weak and buyers are strong. So that's when we went long. You can see here, though, we're coming and retesting the bottom of that candle. Buyers are trying, but it's looking like the selling pressure is getting pretty strong right here as we come into previous day low. This is what this box right here, this is what we call the area of value. All what it is the zone around the red candle that was ignored. So we're trying to see here if buyers can hold this as we start to make our way up into previous day low. Now, these are the ones that are, sloppy. I necessarily would not take this trade. Like, I would wait for a little bit. For me to go long here, I would want to see buying pressure above previous day low. But there really is nothing wrong with taking this long. Or I would want to see price get above that moving average right there, right? That 9 seems pretty strong. But notice here, when price comes into the low of the candle that was ignored, that's where you want to see them buyers start to show up. And that's what we did get, right? We got a nice wick into it. We're looking to see if these buyers can hold this. And I got about 10 more minutes before I go start cooking dinner, right? So notice this box, guys. Look, you see what's happening right here? Buyers are showing a lot of strength, right? Where most traders would be thinking bearish here, I'm thinking bullish. And it's not, and it really doesn't even matter to me if it continues or not, right? I'm just following my system. And, to do that sometimes it doesn't feel good. It's a little sketchy, right? It's a wicked sketchy play. We're below previous day low. It looks super choppy and ugly, but we're following the system. And it looks like these buyers are here to play. This is a great example, right? Because less than one candle ago, this thing looked hella bearish. So let's see if buyers can take it. Once again, this is how we use moving averages to identify strength. This is how we use RBIs, right, to identify strength. This is how we use critical levels to identify who's winning, who's got the ball. If buyers can get above PDL here, this thing will take off straight into end of day, but they gotta push. But yeah, I thought that lesson was heavy, right? Like, it's not impossible. You're just doing it wrong, right? Like that's it's pretty heavy. That happens a lot in trading because there's really no right or wrong way to trade. There's just make money or adjust. Look at how let's see what the 2 minute looks like. I'm interested. Yep. And this is why our strategy, though, works so well with futures, right? Like, for all my futures traders out there, this, the way we trade, we're scalping like crazy. Like, I would argue moving averages are so damn effective for a futures trader because they show you exactly where to get in, exactly where to get out, and you keep really tight risk. Very tight risk. I mean, options too, but actually, what day was this? 8/1. I remember this. I actually took this long. I was in Texas when this happened. This trade. Isn't that crazy? I don't know. I think I just been trading so long. I remember. I think I remember this. If not, it was very similar. But I just got to Texas in the beginning of August of this year. That's funny. So when I go through replay, it's hilarious because I've been logging so much trading data. If you come into my Discord, look at these buyers here too. Look, so once again, the process is valid, right? Like this is how we identified the opportunity. This isn't the cleanest trade, but what are we noticing here? Like we're noticing some patterns, right? We got a red bar. The high was broken right here, right? I just want to be very crystal clear here. The high, see this candle? It broke this candle's high. So this red bar right here was disrespected, right? This was ignored. So initially, when price looked like this, we went long, right? We entered in and our stop goes a couple ticks below. Now look what happens. Price comes down, tries to sweep us, and then starts to rally up. Once again, this is the approach I trade every single day, right? Every day, this is how I identify my opportunity. And then I take my moving averages all the way up to my target of choice, right? That's going to be end of day up here. And like what I absolutely love about this strategy is it just, for me, it just pulls the, it pulls the overthinking out of it. When I see it, I pull the trigger. I mean, you guys, this is just when I see it, I pull the trigger. And look at this push we're getting right here as buyers blow through previous day low. Boom. Look at that. Push. This is why I practice. This is why, in my opinion, your ability to practice your strategy over and over is key. It doesn't even matter. I would argue the strategy you use is less important to your ability to stick to it and repeat it. Straight up. And that's crazy. I don't know if you guys know this. I actually probably not. I just started this, but I just created a new offer for individuals looking to join our team, right? Basically, it's you join our team and in 60 days, I give you all your money back. If you take our online course, if you journal every trade for 60 days, and if you join every webinar, I give you all the money back, right? So it's a 60-day offer. So basically, I am willing to bet if you join my team, take Trader Bootcamp, and join us on the webinar and journal your trade every day, I am willing to bet you see the craziest difference in your trading that I am willing to give you your money back, right? It's something new I'm doing right here. And I'm hoping to attract the right individuals because that's my intention, right? I really want to build a team where individuals come and become really good traders, because the better my team is, the better I get, right? I know what this system did for me. So click those links below, check it out. Or if you just want a free mini course on this, click the link below. Go to my website, opt in. I send you a free mini course on this strategy. And once again, we picked a random day here, and we are literally just putting in some work. Todd, bro, you already know we got to put in some work before we go live, right? We got to sharpen the tool set before we go live. Replay all day, baby. Look at that. Beautiful. Look at that. And now notice something here, guys. What happened? What happened when buyers took this level? We got a crazy push, right? So let's break that down, because this is another thing I learned in 2025. Look at this chart. Is this bullish or bearish, right? This is bearish. Look at this. Guys, listen. Hear me out when I tell you this. This is a game changer. This, on a larger scale, is a bearish break and retest. This is a bearish chart pattern. So we're not going to marry the fact that sellers are going to own it. We're going to let our system tell us who owns it. So we enter long, right? For those of you guys that were with us, we went long right here. Stop went here. Now, what happens when buyers invalidate the bearish chart pattern? Boom! Pop! She rips. And guess who gets to make tons of money in the process? Me and you. Moral of the story: learn to spot market structure on larger time frames and take advantage of it. When you see the market structure on a larger time frame, do not assume that it is going to go the way you think. Remember, we don't need to know. We just need to see it. Play the moving average. Play the RBI, GBI. And then just pull the triggers. So, all in all, guys, I love you. We're going live tomorrow, 9:15 a.m. Eastern. I'm excited. I just want to hop on here and talk about what we learned this year. I'll do a quick, I'm going to tell you guys one more. I'm going to read them real quick. Definition of learning: actually doing something different when in the same environment or scenario. Okay? That is the definition of learning. Doing something different. Okay? Number 2, the road to success is narrow. Okay? Meaning, don't be like the 90%. Be different. Do different. If you don't know what to do what everyone's not doing. Okay? Number 3, God won't fix your problem, but he'll give you the idea to solve it. Okay? Which means trust your ideas. Trust your intuition. Right? Be willing to push yourself further. Last one, it's not impossible. You're just doing it wrong. Okay? That is heavy. There's somebody out there getting it done. That's going to be us this year. I love you guys. Appreciate all your support. Everybody in the comments. Check out that offer, right? I think it's going to be really cool. It's a really good offer, right? It's basically you join my team. You follow the process. I give you your money back in 60 days. Check it out. For everybody else, I'll see you live tomorrow, 9:15 a.m. Eastern. Let's start this year off phenomenal.